Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Noe, and I am the Comic Hero. Now, Veterans Day is in 5 days. Veterans Day is when we celebrate the men and women who have fought in any of the 5 branches of the U.S. military who are currently with us today. And if you're watching this and you're one of those veterans, I thank you so much for your services. And I personally want to thank my cousins, Lavert and Pat Washington from Minden, Louisiana, who fought during Operation Desert Storm. And I also want to thank my good friend Daniel Hale for his service. I want to thank an old school buddy of mine, Kennedy Burns Jr., for his service. I want to thank another school buddy of mine, Carlos Willis, for his service. And also, I want to thank one of the managers at the Walmart Neighborhood Market in West Monroe, another school buddy of mine, Clay Williams, for his service in the Marines. I can just go on and on with a lot of folks that I know, but if you're watching this, again, if you're watching this and you're a U.S. veteran, thank you so much for your service. And that's the thing. If you're watching this and you happen to know a veteran, go out and thank them. We live in the greatest. We have flaws. There are flaws with this country, but we still, for the most part, we still live in the greatest country in the world, and we have the greatest military in the world. And if you happen to see a veteran, go out and thank them. They fought real hard for all the freedoms that we have, and they deserve all the respect in the world. So go out and thank a vet. All right, it's time to give away a free T-shirt. All right, last week's episode, I asked true or false. In the comics, Perry White's catchphrase was "Great Shades of Elvis." Well, the correct answer is false. His catchphrase in the comics was "Great Caesar's Ghost." Now, that catchphrase was actually used a few times in Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman that ran from 1993 to 1997. And there were 2 reasons why this catchphrase was used instead of "Great Caesar's Ghost." One, the actor who played Perry White, Lane Smith, was an actor who could only play a role of a Southern character because he is because he is from the South, and the way that Perry White was depicted because of Lane Smith, he was from he was a native of Memphis, Tennessee, as opposed to being a native of Metropolis as the Perry White in the comics is. And another reason, it's because the producers were a little concerned that a lot more younger viewers weren't going to understand the catchphrase "Great Caesar's Ghost," so they changed it up. But the correct answer is false. And 9 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in the drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So, the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Terrence Thompson from Shreveport, Louisiana. So congratulations, Terrence. Win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is an X-Men question. What is Bishop's real name? Now keep in mind, Bishop is the time-traveling character, or a character from the future, who can absorb energy and then manipulate it. So the question is, what is Bishop's real name? Everyone who answers correctly has been entered in the drawing for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. So, I gotta ask. Any questions?
Questions I walk around in. Questions I didn't thrive in. Questions I will survive in. Questions.
Alright, I only have one question for this week, and it's from Mandy Hooter from Medford, Oregon. She asked, I've only watched the Flash TV show, but never read the comics. All the speedsters have different color lightning when they run. Is it the same in the comics? Why do they have different colors? Well, Mandy, the only reason that each speedster has different colors is because they all have different connections to the Speed Force. The Flash, or Barry Allen, his lightning is gold. Kid Flash's lightning is red. Excess on the TV show's lightning is purple. And Wally West, before he was killed in Heroes in Crisis last month in DC, his was blue. But it's because of their different connections to the Speed Force. Just because they're all speedsters, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have the same connection. All right, that's it for any questions. If you have any questions you want to ask me, go ahead and ask them. I will ask and answer them on the show as long as they pertain to comics or anything within that realm or the show. No personal questions. I will not ask and answer those. All right, now D'Angelo Ballou from Youngstown, Ohio has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features a boss with a bow and arrow going up against a boss that can beat you different ways. Representing DC, we have Green Arrow. And representing Hasbro and IDW, we have Snake Eyes. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Green Arrow versus Snake Eyes. Green Arrow is an expert archer and a skilled hand-to-hand combatant who utilizes high-tech equipment, compound bow, and various types of arrows. Snake Eyes possesses adaptation, agility, blood control, danger sense, is an escape artist, gadgets, genius-level intellect, skilled marksmanship, enhanced stamina, stealth capabilities, super hearing, super sight, super speed, incredible swordsmanship, tracking, unarmed combat, and is a weapons master. Who would win? This fight wouldn't even be close. Green Arrow will pull out his bow. Just as he's about to grab an arrow, Snake Eyes does a somersault over Green Arrow and slices his bow and all of his arrows. It suddenly becomes hand-to-hand combat. Green Arrow's punches and kicks all get blocked by Snake Eyes. The latter then ends the fight by punching Green Arrow in the midsection and delivering a roundhouse kick. Snake Eyes wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that fight. If you have fight requests for future episodes, contact info is down there. Alright, folks, it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there are two things that I'm going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and the first one, on a very serious note, is Jesse L. Martin. Now, Jesse L. Martin currently plays the role of Detective Joe West on the Flash TV series on the CW. Well, it's been announced that for the time being, he's going to take a leave of absence from the show. And the reason being is because during the off-season, he suffered a very, very nasty back injury. And if you noticed, on the first few episodes of The Flash that have been on, almost every scene that he has been on, he has been sitting down. I mean, a lot of times whenever, since the Flash TV series, since it premiered in 2013, he's hardly been sitting down, but in this one he's been sitting down. I never really noticed it. I mean, because I really don't, because a lot of times I don't really pay attention to detail. But now that I've now that that's been brought up, or that's been announced that he's going to be taking a leave of absence in order to heal from his injury, it makes sense. And honestly, I think that's the right course of action to take. I mean, you can't do that kind of stuff hurt. It's hard. I mean, this coming from a guy who did theater in junior high and high school. I just hope that he heals from this so he can hurry up and come back. I mean, he's done such a tremendous job playing the role of Detective West and being a character who is, not only the detective for the Central City Police Department and the father of Iris and Wally, and also the surrogate father to Barry. I mean, he's just a great actor. I mean, I remember when he was on Law and Order SVU. But I just hope that he can just take a break from this, recover, heal up, recover, and then come on back. All right, now the second thing, on a much lighter note, is the rumor that WWE superstar John Cena wants to play Captain America. Now, here's the only way that will work. The only way would that work is if they cast him not as Steve Rogers, because I'm sorry, nobody played that role like Chris Evans has in the past 7 years, and they're gonna have to. As far as I'm concerned, if they're gonna cast John Cena to play the role of Captain America, I would cast him as John Walker. Now, John Walker, for a time, in the comics took on the mantle of Captain America, and then when Steve Rogers decided to take the mantle back, he became U.S. agent. And honestly, I think he would make a great U.S. agent. I mean, I've seen him in quite a few movies, in the Marine, notably, and I think he would. I think he would really nail the role as a character with a military background. I mean, because John Walker has in the comics has a military background, and I think it'd be perfect. But definitely not Steve Rogers. Nobody played that role like Chris Evans, and nobody will play that role like Chris Evans did. I mean, this is, coming off of the heels of Evans announcing that the next Avengers movie, which is slated to come out next year, will be his last. So, and it really hasn't been said whether he is going to, whether Steve Rogers is going to be killed off or what. But honestly, now there have also been speculation that they're going to go with either the Bucky cap, which was in the comics about a decade ago, or they're going to go with Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon, taking on the mantle of Captain America. Marvel's been very tight-lipped about this. Just like they're very tight-lipped about the upcoming Avengers movie, which I really can't wait to see. But if they decide to cast Cena as Captain America, they're probably going to cast him as John. I think they should cast him as John Walker. Definitely not Rogers. Just saying. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is Justice League Odyssey number 2. West Coast Avengers number 3. Tony Stark Iron Man number 5. Black Panther number 5. Detective Comics number 989. Detective Comics number 990. Detective Comics number 991. Extermination number 4. Heroes in Crisis number 2. Wonder Woman Justice League Dark The Witching Hour. And finally, Titans number 18. Alright, that's 11, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 8,997. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. What is Bishop's real name? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee in next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Terrence Thompson from Shreveport, Louisiana, who won a free tee in this week's episode. All right, if my math is correct, with the count being 8,997, I'm only 3 away from 9,000. So I guess it's a safe bet to say that I'm probably going to get to that milestone in next week's episode. Really looking forward to it. I made a shirt for it. The only way that you've been able to see the shirt is if you have liked my page on Facebook called The Comic Hero Fan Forum. Otherwise, you'll just have to wait till next week's episode. Man, almost 9,000. I mean, see the light at the end of the tunnel, folks. Well, in terms of 9,000 comics. If you're oh, and this is actually my first episode of the show that I'm doing as a 37-year-old. My birthday was this past weekend. I want to thank everyone who posted on my wall on Facebook, sent messages, sent texts, called me. I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for that. I'm just going to make 37 the best year that I've had so far. And that's all I can do. Whenever you're allowed to see another year, you should make it better than the year before. You should make it your best year. I don't care who you are. I don't care what walk of life you come from. Always make when you're allowed to see another year, that's something to shout about. I mean, I know I did when I woke up Friday morning. All right, and if you happen to see a vet, thank them for their services. I mean, they fought for our country. They enlisted into any of the 5 branches of the U.S. military. They fought for the right, for our country. They fight for our very own rights. So go ahead and thank him. I thank any man and woman who has served in any of the 5 branches of the U.S. military. Again, we may not live in the perfect country. There's a lot of flaws about this country. We still have a long ways to go, but it's still the greatest country in the world, and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. And I want to thank every man and woman in the U.S. military that fought, that are with us today, that have fought and made that possible for all of us. All right, I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 237. That's going to be the 9,000 comics episode. I'm very excited about it. Can't wait to do that episode. Can't wait to buy the comics to do that episode. Woo! It's just awesome. But anyway, till then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and thank our vets.